everybody on Rye Wylie because the technicality. I think his router fried or something. Getting
hearing voices.
Kicked off, so if I disappear, chat amongst yourselves. Going on here? We're going to talk about drummers because we have drummers in front of us. So my first question is, when did you discover drumming, percussion? At what age? How did you discover it? Let's start with Ron. And he disappears on me. I knew you guys didn't really want to be on the show. I'm kidding. Here he comes again. Or he's trying to. All right, let's go to Chris. Chris.
Yeah.
How did you
I come into drumming?
Yeah.
Both my brothers played drums, and my oldest brother had a drum set in our basement that I would fiddle around with, and at 12, my parents bought me a Ludwig 5-piece kit. Nice. And I was off to the races from there.
I wish I could hear all you folks.
You can't hear us? You can't hear anything?
Oops.
No?
No?
There's everybody.
But you can't hear us. Okay. I guess he can't hear us. So, what you said that was 12, Chris? I hear you.
Yeah, at 12.
At 12. So did you go through the school system and play drums at school and stuff like that? Or did you just play at home for fun?
I actually, in school, I played the clarinet and the violin. And those instruments weren't destructive enough for me.
There you go. It's about destruction.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, beating the skins, destruction, noise, bringing the thunder, that whole thing. Yeah,
it's just disturbing my parents.
That
That's what
too.
It came down to.
I found other ways to disturb mine. Kevin, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. When did you discover drumming? What age?
When I was probably like 4 or 5. We actually had a Muppet drum set that we were allowed to play once in a while.
Wow. Okay. And then when did you get serious about it?
That's when I discovered drumming.
I
was in my 30s because I really was never allowed to have a drum set, so I started playing guitar. So I was actually a guitarist. And I played bass in a country band for like 8 months too while I was in my 20s. But I was a guitarist until my 30s, and I'd hop on anybody's kit who would let me play their kit. I hopped on them, and they were all like, wow, for a guitarist, you're not a bad drummer either. So, right. And then I got a friend of mine. He was in a band. He went down to New York City and saw him in a battle of the bands, and I talked to him. I was friends with him since high school, and he's like, just get on Craigslist and start searching around, because I told him I had a drum set and I'm ready to start playing. I wish I could get in a band again, because I was in a band with him for a while, and he's like, oh, just get on Craigslist. So that's what I did. That's when I started getting serious. Right?
So in your 30s. Well, that's not. Then there's there's something for me to look forward to. Because I never got to where I wanted to get to with my instruments either. Let's go back to Ron. Ron, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Dial Up. Ron. No, he can't. Still can't hear us. Oh well, Rye. I know what, but let's do your story again.
Well, my mom was in a Tupperware club So I was like 4 years old, and I'd set them all up. And but then probably like 11 years old, there was like seniors, and they were jamming out or whatever, and I was just, oh my God, it was sick. I thought it was awesome. And the drummer did like this bottom fill, like this triplet fill, and I was like 11. First time sitting out the drum set, I did it, and he was like, "You little shit," and I was like, "Oh my God, all right," I was like, and that was it. I just lit a fire.
There you go.
But that was it, yeah. But same with me. I started guitar first, 11 years old. I was like, oh, I want to be Metallica, and I want to shred guitars. But yeah, it hurt my fingers.
Yeah.
It does hurt your fingers. I've told this story before, but I took my first guitar lessons at 7, and that was the thing that got to me, is the end of my fingers. My action was too tight, and my fingers hurt so bad. So I gave that up. And then,
I think I'll just smoke in the background here.
No, don't just smoke in the background there. Talk to us. You're next. When did you discover drums? And he still can't hear me. Let me see if he can read the chat. Ron, chat. Did you were doing better without the earbuds?
Now you might be talking to me.
I am talking to you. I am talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Oh, you are. That's how I heard.
When? When did you discover drums?
That was very synthesized, the voice right there.
Oh, no. All right, let's see if I can... Pots and pans in the kitchens. That's when you discover drums. Don't be a smart ass, Mr. Smiddix. They all discover them at different times. Let's see. Now, who's that?
That's not you, Steph?
No, mine are all quiet because they're afraid of the...
I hear a doggy.
No, that's my 2 dogs.
My dogs are afraid of the thunder and lightning, so they're very quiet. Ron, when did you discover percussion? Reed, you.
Oh,
you.
I see that.
You.
Yeah, I see it. I started playing. I discovered it 12 years old.
There you go. And?
I was like 12 when I figured out how I started doing it.
Now I'm going to have to type out all my questions to him because he's just going to do the brief answers, right? Okay. Sorry, smartass is my thing. Okay.
I'm reading.
What? All right. Ron, when did you discover percussion? When did you get serious about it besides 12?
Nothing is what is white as it seems.
What is he reading? This is crazy. I had this with one other guest, Chris O'Neill, and he kept cutting out, and eventually he left the show. But I mean, I was typing on the screen everything out to him, and yeah, here we go. Okay, so he's gone. So let's talk about your drumming influences, Rye.
Yes.
We'll start with you, and we'll go clockwise. Whose drumming influenced you? Abby, go lay down. And why? And why did they influence you?
Man, I have a lot of influences, but primarily, I mean, even Dave Matthews Drummer was a huge influence on me growing up. Just like his technique, his style, the color of his hi-hat, he had a lot of color to the music. I'm really into the gospel chops kind of stuff.
Beaufort.
Yeah,
Beaufort.
exactly.
Yeah.
Carter.
Yeah.
He was a huge influence on me. Smashing Pumpkins. you know, but he was another jazz drummer as well. A lot of jazz influence, which led me to funk. But at the same time, I love death metal, you know. So I'm all over the board. I have so many influences. I don't know yeah. But when I was young, it was Jimmy Chamberlain and Carter Beauford, and you know, all my friends were like Deadhead, but that was like totally the opposite. Like I wanted something with heavy groove, you know, and like I wanted time signature changes, and I wanted like, you know, halftime feels. I wanted, you know, that stuff. I was, you know, I gravitated toward.
Kevin. Hello.
Well, at first it was the Beatles. I'm kind of dating myself, but I used to sneak my parents' 8-tracks and records, and listen to the Beatles stuff. So the Beatles, but then as I got older and into guitar, I got into Zeppelin and Sabbath and you know, Metallica and groups like that. I wasn't really into hair metal. I was more into Metallica and at that point. So yeah, those were, and then I discovered, like the Who, like Keith Moon, but I kind of discovered Gene Krupa and, like you were saying, jazz that first, and then like you're saying with Dave Matthews and everything, just incredible drummers there. Also, I discovered King Crimson and the 3 or 4 drummers they had. That was really big influences.
Now there's just 3 of us.
It's our show now.
Now there's just 3 of us, and then there were 3.
It's like a horror movie. So whoever's he's back.
Right. It's like Spinal Tap.
Except we're all drummers.
Where's Stonehenge?
So whichever one of us disappears from a bizarre gardening accident, it'll be me.
We lost our host.
That happens, right? I disappeared for a little.
Look at that. And he hears us now.
He's talking to him crazy.
Nice.
So now do we start asking each other what it was like to do our first podcast?
Right. Steph says she's trying to get back in.
Yeah.
Good, because we shouldn't be left to our own devices. It's not
right.
It's not right.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yes, we finally get revenge.
We should just all do drum solos.
I prefer minimalist.
Second,
right.
It's like a rhythm.
So are you guys local?
What are you thinking about, my pup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm local.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know what sucks right now is that today Murderers Row should have been on an off day in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we lost 3 tours.
Oh man, when was the last time you guys gigged out?
We played that live at Facebook show 2 weeks ago.
Right. I mean, like at a club or venue.
February.
Damn. Yeah. Same with me. February.
We played at a club in Connecticut. It's a really cool place, and it was a fun show and it was a huge crowd. And then everything shit the bed.
Whirly dervish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. February was my last live.
Yeah. We played this show, and the next week I went to a show in Brooklyn at this new place called Club Monarch. And it was their very first show they did there, and it was Sheer Terror and Templars, and it was awesome. And on the way home, we all started talking about, oh man, I just hope nothing bad happens. And that was the
Whoa.
last, and that was everybody's last show.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know where Steph took off. Oh, she says she told me to take over. Talk about your current bands. Yeah. So Kevin, what have you been up to? What's your current band?
Well, one band, we just had 2 rehearsals over the last couple of weeks here, and which is near Cambridge, and we just had 2 rehearsals because in Sonic, our bass player unfortunately died. He had cancer.
Oh yeah, you
and
played,
it was
you
like
played
a
with
sudden
Eric.
thing.
Yeah, you played with Eric Rothman.
Yeah, Eric.
I love Eric.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he's a good shit. Yeah, Joel, the bass player, died of cancer, and
Yeah.
we didn't know what was going to happen, obviously, and so we talked to. So I just had Eric over with Brian Fitzgerald, who was with Paradox Saints,
Nice.
and a few other bands, and so for now it's the 3 of us for now, and we're going to call ourselves something different, but that hasn't been decided exactly. We're debating a few things, but and I'm also and unfortunately we've only had 1 rehearsal as well with Lucas Garrett.
Okay.
I'm supposed to start playing with him soon. I'm supposed to start with him soon.
I think that's it.
But then I that was in February, and then I went on vacation, and then I had to cut that short because of the COVID thing. So that's
Right.
Unfortunately, I haven't gotten back together with Lucas and his bass player for a while. So, and so that's what I'm in now. I mean, there's another group of people that I play with once in a while, but it's really hard to get everybody's schedule together. So.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not easy when everybody's adulting.
Right.
Exactly.
How about you?
Yeah.
I'm in Troy's own Murderers Row. This year was really supposed to be a big year for the band. It's the 20th anniversary of the band's first show. We were working on new material. We started lining up tour dates, and everything was going to be, and we had good momentum. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
everything just shit the bed. But Murderers Row, again, I've been in the band 2 years now. But Bob Riley, of course, the local music juggernaut, is the singer and songwriter. Chris Neary is bass. Leo Curley on guitar, lead guitar, and Joe Flanagan on rhythm guitar. And it's just we clicked. I got invited to the band almost by accident.
Nice.
So it was one of those things where everybody's friends. Bob and I have known each other since we were teenagers, so it all worked out, and it's working out. And when we play all the time, we actually rehearse like 3 nights a week. So
Nice.
we stay tight all the time.
Yep.
And then I don't need to go to the gym if I'm playing drums in a room without windows, for 3 nights a week.
Buzz says, "Isn't George Harrison the drummer in Murderers Row?"
Yeah, well, tell him I play George Harrison on TV, but I'm not actually George Harrison. I only mentioned that during the live stream a couple weeks ago.
Nice. We'll see what he says. He's listening in.
I want
Nice,
your
yeah,
autograph.
Yeah, my autograph and $1.20 will get you a cup of coffee at McDonald's. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, same with me. We started a band, Uncle Funker, funk cover band, and same thing. We started getting the ball rolling, and everything fell off. Yeah.
This thing. It's a shame, and it's really going to kill a lot of music venues all over the country already.
Yeah.
If anybody who's on social media can see that there's some big clubs that have shuttered for good because of what's going on.
Right.
And it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. The festival scene's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. We were scheduled to play a festival in Chicago called Midwest Live and Loud in September. We were booked for it in February, and the lineup came. It's a 3-day festival. The lineup came out in like the second week of March, and the third week of March canceled. So yeah, and it was one of those things where I was excited because all the bands were bands that I'm like, oh my god, I love those guys. Oh, they're coming over from Holland. Oh my god,
Nice.
we're gonna get to play with them, and then nothing. So
Yeah.
So I sit and twiddle my thumbs till 2021.
Yeah.
Basically.
So what kind of kits do you guys play?
Go ahead.
I play a Tama.
What kind?
The Superstar with the really shallow toms. I like the attack of the toms. Yeah.
Well, isn't it funny that if all of us were playing drums back in the 80s, we probably all would have had the 20-piece kits with the deep concert toms,
right,
and the double bass and everything. But as you get older, I'm 52. I don't want to lug shit anywhere. I'd rather have like a 3-piece kit if I could get away with it, and 2 cymbals.
Yep. Oh, I agree. And I love the guys that make it work.
Oh, yeah.
Really well,
Listen, I've seen guys that play 4-piece kits that sound like they're playing 100-piece sets.
Yep.
There's a drummer named Mackie Jason. He plays in Cro-Mag's JM, but he's also a jazz drummer, and he's amazing. Watching him play on a small kit is incredible.
Nice. But you're right. Yeah,
I play
in the 80s. We would be playing some big toms and big kits.
Yeah, right. 100 cymbals.
What are you playing?
Yeah, I've got a DW kit. But I've got a couple of cheap kits that I play at home. The other kit I've got in cases for when I go out and I tune up before a gig. But I've got a couple of cheap $50 kits that I leave at people's homes, in their practice spaces, or I leave another cheap kit here at home for when we practice. But my good kit is a DW.
Nice. Well, that's rarefied air right there.
Is it?
Oh yeah. I play a Mapex set, and I had a Tama at one point. I had a Ludwig. I fell in love with the sound of this set. It's just,
oh yeah,
and it's same. I have the what do you call them? The fast pack shells. They're the shallow shells.
Yeah,
and they it's the loudest set I've ever played.
Definitely, yeah. I had a Mapex Pro Maple, and yeah, that thing was loud. It projected. I miss that kit. The toms rang so nice. Yep.
Funny how I happened onto it. I actually bought it off of Craigslist.
Nice.
From a drum teacher. He's a jazz drummer, and he teaches drums in Troy. And I went to look at it, and I'm like, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. I want, and it was like $400 with all the stands and the pedals and everything. And he had one of his students, his parents had bought the kit, and the kit showed up, and then the kid never came back, and the kit sat in his house for a year. So
nice.
his loss was my gain.
Yep, sweet.
That's right.
What heads do you guys use? What's the kind of what are your favorite sounds you like to get out of what heads?
I like a thin ply on the toms, and I usually use just a Remo coated ambassador on the snare. But This I like the black suede, like either the Evans or the Remos make nice, like the black suede single ply. How about you, Kevin?
I use Aquarian. I use Aquarian Studio X. It's and then a coated Focus X on the snare, and I've been trying out some other Aquarians on the floor toms to get different sounds, but they have a built-in sound ring, and
Nice, yeah.
I get a lot of good articulation, and you know, if I really want a lot more sound, I'll hit harder or use different sticks. So my biggest thing is you know, and then if I need to tone it down even more, I have those Remo rings that'll go on top,
Right.
and that dampens it. But yeah, I use Aquarian for the most part.
Nice. Are those hydraulic heads, Aquarians?
No, I've tried them in you know, like Guitar Center and stuff, and it's way too boomy.
Right.
You know, and the kit I have kind of has that it's loud enough as it is.
Right.
And yeah, I didn't really need that boomy because then it kind of resonates throughout the rest of the drums too.
Yep.
So
Now, do you guys play any electronic stuff, like at home?
I don't. I did, but I sold my kit. Just I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I did for a while, and we moved. I've been bouncing around the country, so yeah, I kind of sold it in amidst of moving. But it's fun to dabble with for sure.
What kind of what set did you play?
Mine was like a middle of the road TD-11, I think.
Oh, is that the Simmons? Or is that
Roland.
Roland. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a set of Alesis DM10s. It's the middle of the road kit for them, but it's got the mesh heads, so it feels kind of natural. And,
Nice, yeah.
And the module, the DM10, you can load in uncompressed samples, so everything's got a more natural sound to it. It doesn't. That's the two reasons. And I got that off of Craigslist for a steal too.
Right. The hi-hat just never feels like a hi-hat. No, I've played like my friend's got a really nice kit too, and just still the hi-hat it's close, but just doesn't have that feel.
Yeah, well, it's the rubber cymbals, you know. It's hard to. Now they do make metal ones that you can have for those kits now too, that are still softer sounding outwards, but they have a trigger on them. So if you're miking them, I mean not miking them, you know, if you're running them through an amp, they're loud, but
right. Yeah. Nice.
So here's a question. I I'm not trying to take over. It's just
it's good.
What is the craziest thing that has ever happened at a show that you played at?
Oh man. All right. One of the craziest things. My floor tom stand came loose. Took the floor tom rolled off. It was a 16-inch too. So heavy. Knocked this ride cymbal over and severed the guitarist's cable right out of his amplifier. So that was pretty cool. I mean, not cool, but yeah, that was pretty crazy.
I was playing in a Who cover band for a couple of years, and you know, it takes a lot of energy. And like you were saying before about not needing to go to the gym, yeah, I didn't need to go to the gym after I played, even rehearsing with those guys. But I was playing that gig, and somebody I knew very well came up and was getting into it, dancing, and she came up and she kind of just patted one of the cymbals, real fast, and the cymbal, where the threads are up top, broke, and the cymbal fell down. But she caught it, and I had enough sitting there that I set it back up there, and I just tried to hit it as light as I could so it didn't fall off again and hit somebody. But another band I was in, it seemed like every place we played, a fight broke out.
Well, of course.
So that was pretty crazy.
You might like mine then. This was last St. Patrick's Day, right around there, and we were playing in Saratoga with a band called the Tossers from Chicago. And if RA was Ron was still here, he could attest to this story because he was in the middle of it. And our sound man was screwing up, and he kept leaving the venue. And he was controlling everything with an iPad, and he was a kid. He didn't know what he was doing, and he was being kind of glib. And we're into our third song, and I look up, and our singer's not on stage. I don't hear any vocals, and he's gone. And I look up, and he's chasing the sound man around. And somebody ended up catching the sound man. They took his iPad and snapped it in half and said, "Murderers Row rules," and ran out.
Oh, dang.
Oh, that's funny.
It was good times.
Welcome back, Steph.
Thank you. I was watching on my phone. I was trying to fix my router. I think it got fried in the storm. But you did a really great job, Rye. Thank you very much.
Chris helped too.
Yes.
Oh shucks.
But the thing is, this is what the show's about: sitting around with like-minded people, talking like you're having a beer, which you guys could be having a beer if you wanted to. There you go. And talking about the things that you have in common. Lysol. Oh my God. Do you know how many people are looking for Lysol? Even the toilet cleaner. Everybody's looking for Lysol products. Can't find them anywhere.
Well, because the toilet cleaner's the tastiest.
No, there you go. So, yeah. So, Fuzzy, do you or Dave want to come on the show? Let me know. I'll send you a link. I was talking to you guys about stupid stuff, and you guys went off and talked about some great stuff. What do you think of the scene? What do you love about it? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Start with Rye.
Oh, geez. The 518 scene, I think it is kind of pathetic lately. I think there's more talent than venues, number one. I think musicians are selling themselves short because of it. You know, everybody takes a gig, oh yeah, the whole band make $150 and some beers. That's what's happening around here a lot. Singer-songwriters are taking over. You got one-man bands that are kind of eating up the. So no, I'm not very happy with it around here. But it could have potential. There's a lot of beautiful places to play that just, there's a lot of awesome people like Dave Eamon, John Newell that are, making places for us to play, making, these bands some money, their venues some money, getting their names out there. So it's a balance, but COVID fucked everything up. So
that's true. It did. Kevin, what do you think about the scene? Kevin, you guys hearing me?
Yeah,
I hear you.
Kevin looks like he's going to disappear.
Kevin went Walt Disney.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I don't have a problem with sound.
Oh, okay. Chris, what do you think about the scene?
Well, depending on which, there's all the scenes within the scenes.
Yeah, I can't. It's just the sound, yeah.
I think like metal and hardcore ebbs and flows in this area. It will
Mhm.
it will get big for a while, then it will slow down. Pop punk sells well around here now, so certain shows will do great, other shows not so well. Um, I, I'm just some shows you go to and it's the same 14 people all the time,
Yes.
and it's you're like it's tiresome. And the worst part is when you play outside of this area, the response is much better because
Yes.
I think people in this area are complacent because they have so much choice that I can go out anytime and see a band. I can go. No, that band is going to play in 3 weeks again anyway. So that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Totally.
And
I know exactly what you're saying.
and
Hopefully COVID does ignite a fire for people to get out more.
Well,
I think it's going to do the opposite. I think that people are going to take their time going out to venues, and the venues are going to some of the venues are going to disappear. They're just not going to be able to wait it out a lot longer, and they probably won't see the crowds that they were seeing if they had them before the COVID. People are just frightened. People are frightened.
Well, I think there's that hard line between people that are too frightened to go out and people that just want to go out and they don't care anymore. They just want to be involved, and which are both scary in their own way.
Right.
Right.
I think Fuzzy's going to join us in a minute. He's going to try to see if he can get in. I don't know what's going on with my router. It seems absolutely fine, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. So, and that's a new one. I just got that one. So, I wanted to ask you guys, I don't know if you touched on this while I was away, but what does it take to be a good drummer in a local band these days? I mean, what kind of attributes do you need? Like I need to have a thick skin and patience because I deal with a lot of people. Every band might have 4 or 5 people. Everybody's got a different personality. Some don't want to be photographed. What is it? How does it work with you guys as drummers? Because they're following you. You're the leader. You're the one setting the beat and, keeping them on track all night and counting things in. So what kind of personality traits do you have to be a drummer?
Well, I don't know. You want to go, Chris? Kevin?
As you can tell, I'm a wallflower, so I really blend into the background.
Okay.
And you know what? I tend to be I'm very boisterous, and other guys in my band do a lot of work, but because I'm a chatty Cathy, they push me forward to do stuff. Like I do a lot of the booking now for the band, and I try to set up stuff only because that's just what I'm a talky guy. So,
right.
But every band has a dynamic. Every band has a behind the scenes thing where some guys are the musical guys, the guys that write all the songs, but they don't say much outside of that. There's some guys that talk a lot. Some guys just their instrument does the talking. You just gotta every band you gotta find that one guy that you can deal with. I think as the spokesmodel for the band.
I've tried that, with them contacting me and so forth. I usually go with whoever contacts me, but then I'll get to the site and I'll find 5 different personalities. Each one of them thinks they're the boss, wants to tell me how it's going to be done, and they're all 5 different ways. So I'm thinking that you have to have some sort of diplomacy, and patience for me. I just wondered if it was the same for you guys in the fact that, you are the driving force behind what's being played. I mean, the performance. If you're not drumming, they're not following anybody, and no songs are getting played.
Well, then it's just an
Right?
acoustic. Then it's just an acoustic show.
Right. And then you don't need 5 people on stage if it's just an acoustic show. You need one guy and a looper.
Remember, every band is a good drummer and bass player with other assorted novelty acts.
But that's true. You have to have the rhythm section. If you don't have it, the rest of the night's going to be bad. That's true. Kevin is stuck. He's had that same. Oh no! There's the smile. No, there's the thumb and smile. Okay, he's not. He's stuck, but he's not too stuck. Let's see if we can get him back. What else was I going to talk about?
Yeah, my sound is kind of in and out.
Do you have anything that you would like to say about that? We've got a few minutes. We can wait. Kevin.
About the attributes, I guess a little bit of agility helps.
Yeah. Okay. Now we talked about the drums you like and all that stuff. Did you guys talk about the cymbals and the extra stuff? You know, like blocks and cowbells and all that stuff. Did you guys talk about that?
I love my red LP block. I love my cowbell, and I love stacker cymbals and anything with tight white noise. I like broken cymbals.
You like broken cymbals? I've got one here that some guy gave me. You can have it.
Yeah, sweet. How about you guys?
You know what? I'm a minimalist. I would have a cowbell, but I use the bell on my ride for that. And other than that, no, I'm not Terry Bozzio or Neil Peart. I'm Marky Ramone.
Right on.
I mean, those other things are great and they're fun to have. It's great toys, but it's just more shit to lug around at that point.
Right.
Yeah, we got to remember you can't. If you don't have a drum roadie or drum engineer, you have to carry all the shit yourself. And roadies. I like having a roadie. Here comes Fuzzy. So, people, This is Fuzzy. And remind me, what's the name of that band you're in again?
Band that I'm in?
Yeah.
I'm not a band. I'm too fat and I have no stamina left.
I thought you were just in a band. Come on.
No, I was more in the late 80s. I was in a band, and life happened. Stopped playing. I would love to start playing again, but I could probably last half a song now.
Oh. So do you do it at home for fun? Do you play at home for fun?
I do it like I used to do it before I got a kit. I have sticks. I just do it like on my legs and in the air, and probably look like a fool doing it, but
Nah.
Dave just called you a sexy bitch.
he's right. That's accurate. Not as handsome as these three gentlemen, but I'm a close fourth.
Did you ever notice that the drummers are the handsomest guys in the band? Did you ever notice that? No, they are.
No.
With the least amount of credit.
Yes. And how many hundreds of bands I've filmed and worked with, and I can tell you from observation that the drummers are the nicest looking guys in the band. I'm just going to leave that out there. And then some guitar player is going to come and say, what are you talking about?
You could have just said the nicest. You could have just stopped at the nicest.
Yeah, I would have been okay with that too.
But they're the nicest looking, and and they are the nicest guys. I think that comes from having the patience to deal with the rest of the band.
Right. You just take it out on your drum.
You have a point.
Yeah. So, what's going on in the future after COVID-19? I mean, we're getting close to 8, but we can go over if you want to. Rye, what's your plans for the future? Are you an Uncle Funker, or are you I know you're doing stuff with Jonathan Newell too.
So Jonathan, during COVID, I've been recording with Jonathan Newell for his orchestrated progressive whatever. Yeah, it's cool. It's like orchestra with hip hop and rock beats. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's like,
and then
it's like
Uncle
progressive-
Punker.
It's like prog rock with classical mixed in. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's super fun. And then we so Uncle Funker, we recorded today, just kind of messing around, getting some sounds and stuff. Just Sasha, Brandon, and I. And we want to start like writing an album, maybe original stuff would be cool, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, where everybody's just itching to play out. I just want to entertain some faces, even if they all look like Mortal Kombat characters with their face masks, you know.
Yeah. I wear face masks even when I'm only with 6 people and they're 25 feet away from me, just because I don't want anybody to yell at me about not wearing a mask.
Right.
Kevin, can you hear me?
Frozen.
He's frozen again.
But at least he's smiling.
Yeah. Chris, what's in the future for Murderers Row and you? What are you working on?
We're working on a whole bunch of new songs. We have probably 4 solid, a whole bunch in development, and then we're going to go forth and record and have something new. So by the time 2021 comes around, we will have something to tour on.
Cool. That's good to know that the band's not going to go away. I'm wondering how many bands are going to disappear after this, you know, when the COVID is over. How many bands that were around before it are going to disappear because people have moved on to other things or haven't kept in touch during the, you know what I mean?
Well, it's bands and venues. I mean, the venues are...
Well, the venues too, yeah. But the bands are, yeah. We're going to have trouble with venues. And we already had trouble with venues. There wasn't enough venues to go around. There were too many bands to book. And then there were venues that only booked the same 6 bands over and over and over again and never gave anybody a chance to get in. I wish I was a venue owner because I would be, you know, trying to help all the COVID, you know, the people coming out of COVID that don't have a place to play and didn't have a place to play before the epidemic get on a stage. That's what I would like to do. So I'm just wondering how many bands are going to just pack it up and say, you know, we've been out of it long enough. We don't want to keep going.
I've been talking to a lot of people in bands, and they're playing, and they're all dying to get out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dying to get out there. Everyone that I've talked to is like, dude, really, like when I talked to Chris, he's like, I asked him to play up at Chrome, which you guys killed, man. And it was like, without hesitation, yeah, we'll absolutely do it. I'm like, well, make sure you check with the guys. Nope, we're good. They're just ready to go. A lot of them are like that. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah, but that's why I'm doing 2 shows a week now from the theater. Starting the week after the 4th, we're doing 2 live streams. So I'm just going to throw that out there. If anybody's interested in booking, get a hold of Jonathan Newell. He's looking for people to live stream from there. We did a 3-camera live stream from there the other night. We got a couple of things to work out about the audio, but we're getting there, and we're going to actually have, you know, something we can do. And then you know, that relatively looks like a concert.
What about a pre-recorded? How can we ever do like a pre-recorded thing?
I would love to do that. I have no problem doing that. It's just that somebody's got to host it. Somebody's got to host it somewhere, and then we've got to play it. I mean, I can put it out any night of the week on here. If somebody wants to pre-record a whole show, I'll come and do it. I have no problem doing that.
I actually, last night when we did Buried Show from Chrome last night, I pre-recorded that and sent it out at 7:30. I had to because we were having so many internet problems, and like with Murderers Row, 8 minutes in, internet crashed. I'm like, what do I do? So I just grabbed the phone, turned that on, and went with my phone. We're doing it like, you know, 4G style, which was okay, but it's not the quality that I want to put out there. So last night's it worked out great. Pre-recorded wise, it worked out great.
I don't dare.
That's a great way to do it. It's a great way to do it.
I'd like to do that, Rye. If I can get Jonathan to agree to that, I would love to do that instead of just doing the straight live stuff. Because we did have internet problems a couple days ago. They had to have Spectrum come out and
I understand.
work on it, and I want to get the audio right, and I can mix it after the fact and take out the problems and so forth. I'd love to do that.
We can both shoot bands and make an edit.
Yeah, and then we can get your drone inside the theater. I mean, I've got mine here. I've got mine here, but I can't do the directing and the drone flying at the same time. So, record the drone. Oh, yours is nicer. I know, it's cuter. Yours are all cuter. You've got more than one.
Wonderful toys.
They're everywhere.
He's got look at it. Yeah, he's got great toys. And he does really great aerial photography. He's done stuff for some of my videos, and it's these people that are going to keep the interest going with new bands. Hey now. Hi, Fred. Fred Barilli's
Brandon Lorski said, "Get at me for that stuff." He'd be great to have the sound. Someone running video, someone running sound.
I need him for to help me figure out my live stream problem over at the theater. I don't know what's going on at the theater, so I'll talk to him. Gentlemen, it's 8:00, but before we go, I want to say thank you. Thanks, Fuzzy, for being our guest star.
Absolutely.
Rye, we lost Ernie because his router fried. We'll have him on some night, and we'll do another drummer show. Kevin, I know you're freezing. You keep freezing over there, but hopefully you heard most of us. Hello.
There you go.
He moved.
It's nice. He's got one of those modern 3 frames per second cameras.
Hi, who's that? Who's with you, Kevin? Give her a shout out. Well, I guess not. And Chris, and thank you. Taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. Rye.
I'm retired. I don't have a busy schedule.
I'm retired too, but my schedule is twice as busy as it was when I was actually working in an office. Rye, I'll see you soon. I always see you. And we'll be back next week, and I think we're going to do the support services thing that we didn't get to do last week, with the photographers, videographers, the sound men, and the lighting guys. So that'll be a cool show. Yes, Chris does rock, Chris Neary. Chris, you rock.
Oh,
Chris.
I love Chris.
Yeah, he's watching apparently. And yes, we're gonna do a drummer show number 2. Part 2. We'll do that again. Get some of the other guys back in, and
you should try to get Jason Bittner.
No, yeah, I didn't even think about him, but yeah. I mean, there's so many guys, and I usually go with who's excited about it first. You know what I mean? When I put it out there, do you want to be on the show? The first 6 people who say, "Yeah, I want to do it," come on. You're excited to go. Let's do it. So, thank you so much. And if anybody who's out there watching has a suggestion for people they'd like to see on the show, I will gladly take that. I'm going to do a shredder show. Everybody keeps talking about a shredder show. I'm going to get these guitar whizzes out here. Hopefully they'll bring their guitars with them and show you how wonderful they are. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about shredders. So I guess we're going to be doing one of those quite soon. And just watch out for the live streams and the pre-recorded stuff. And Friday nights, is it, Fuzzy? Dave and Confused? Is you guys Friday?
It's either Friday or Saturday. We've been doing it Friday nights a lot. It's been pretty big, so we might stay with that. I mean, it's up to Dave, but Friday nights seem to work pretty well. So
yeah, so Friday or Saturday nights, Dave and Confused. You can find him on Facebook.
Thank you.
That's an interesting conversation over there. I can tell you that.
I'm actually wearing pants tonight. I actually had to put pants on.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm wearing pants too, but I haven't stood up. So, hello, goodbye, Kevin. Okay.
He's done.
That's I guess he's done. He had to go.
He ran away.
Going to turn into a pumpkin. So I'll let you guys go, and we will
Thanks,
see
Steph.
you all then.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And
Thank you for having me, Steph. I appreciate it.
No problem. And Chris, see you soon.
Yes, indeed.
As soon as you get a show out there, I'll be out there.
Well, listen, one quick thing. I'll say this, that I can't announce it because it's not my show, but there is a secret show in the works for the middle of July
Okay.
that will be featuring Murderers Row, and it will be in an outdoor area.
That'd be awesome.
So I will keep you apprised of that.
Okay. There's Kevin again.
Oh,
There's Fuzzy again. I'm trying to get rid of people,
What the
but
heck?
again, you're all still there. I'm saying goodbye, but Kevin popped in, so I wanted to come back and say goodbye to Kevin. Kevin!
there you go.
Now he's turning his hello.
Hey.
Okay. We were just saying bye-bye.
Hey.
So
Yeah, no. See ya.
so we'll do this again and we'll get you back on and we'll get to actually talk more instead of watching you freeze. That was also interesting though. And I need to see the kill.
I'll try to do it on the PC next time.
Next time I want you guys to bring props.
All right. I'll wear it.
And whatever. And I want the kill. I want to see that kill. Because you're the only one I know that dares to wear a kill on stage.
Props?
Props! And you get your drone out. We'll do a drone thing.
I'll go no pants if you want me back on.
Okay. Thanks, Fuzzy. Thanks for the warning.
All right, I'll let you guys go.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night. Good night, Kevin. Thanks, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We had a wicked electrical storm up here. My router went and the power went, and several people couldn't get on tonight. My apologies to Ernie. I think he fried his router because of the storm. I'm not sure. And Ron Burris and Kevin had some problems too, but we'll get them back. And next week, I think we're going to do the support show. So we'll be sending out Facebook invitations for that, and we will let you know in advance, where it's going to be seen. And if you have any suggestions for guests or a topic, inbox me. All right. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.